That is not what happened. You've done the opposite. You canceled $12 billion in grants to the states, including my state, that are used to administer and track vaccines. You promised Chairman Cassidy.
When did I do that?
Madam Chair, would you allow me to finish my question?
Keep going with your question. When did I do that?
Let me finish my question.
Accusation. Just tell me when I did it so I can understand what the question is.
You have canceled $12 billion in public health grants to states, whether you know this or not. That funding is used by the states in part to be able to administer and dispense information about vaccines. Mr. Secretary, let me give you the full panoply of
accusations,
the things you said before this committee that didn't turn out to be true.
This hearing doesn't waste a single second. It erupts the moment Senator Chris Murphy opens his mouth. He looks straight at Secretary RFK Jr. and accuses him of something no cabinet official ever wants to hear. You didn't tell the truth. And from that point forward, the room becomes a battlefield. Murphy isn't probing, he's prosecuting. Kennedy isn't answering, he's counterattacking. And what follows is one of the most explosive clashes over trust, vaccines, and public accountability Congress has seen in years.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Secretary Kennedy, I want to talk to you about your relationship with this committee and this Congress. I want to talk to you about the statements that you made to the chairman of this committee and to members of this committee during your confirmation hearing about vaccines. You didn't tell the truth. I find that to be really dangerous for our relationship. If I were the chairman who believes in vaccines and voted for you because he believed what you said about supporting vaccines, my head would be exploding. In the hearing, you told us, quote, "I will not work to impound, divert, or otherwise reduce any funding appropriated by Congress for the purpose of vaccination programs." That's not the truth. You've done exactly. Let me finish my question.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. I'm just asking you to repeat it so I can understand your question.
During the hearing, I'll repeat it. During the hearing, you said to this committee and to the Finance Committee, "I will not work to impound, divert, or otherwise reduce funding appropriated by Congress for the purpose of vaccination programs." That is not what happened. You've done the opposite. You canceled $12 billion in grants to the states, including my state, that are used to administer and track vaccines. You promised Chairman Cassidy.
When did I do that?
Madam Chair, would you allow me to finish my question?
Keep going with your question. When did I do that?
Let me finish my question.
Accusation. Just tell me when I did it so I can understand what the question is.
You have canceled $12 billion in public health grants to states, whether you know this or not. That funding is used by the states in part to be able to administer and dispense information about vaccines. Mr. Secretary, let me give you the full panoply of
accusations,
the things you said before this committee that didn't turn out to be true. You also promised Chairman Cassidy that the FDA would not change vaccine standards from, quote, historical norms. But what happened as soon as you were sworn in? You announced new standards for vaccine approvals that you proudly referred to in your own press release as a radical departure from current practice. And experts say that that departure will delay approvals. You also said, specific to the measles vaccine, that you support the measles vaccine. But you have consistently been undermining the measles vaccine. You told the public that the vaccine wanes very quickly. You went on the Dr. Phil show and said that the measles vaccine was never fully tested for safety. You said there's fetal debris in the measles vaccine. And this morning—
All true.
This morning in
front of— Do you want me to lie to the public?
That's not— none of that is—
Of course it's true. Of course it's true, Senator. Senator, begging your product, you do not know what you're talking about.
For the record.
Let's have a little bit of order so that you can get
Madam
your
Chair,
question
I'm
and we can get
I didn't ask for a response yet.
I understand
I'd like
that.
to lay out the predicate of my question before I'm interrupted by the witness. He should have some respect for this committee.
Go ahead.
Just this morning in front of the House of Representatives, you also said that you, in fact, would not recommend that kids get vaccinated for measles. You said you would just lay out the pros and cons. Okay, so this is the summation of everything that you have said to compromise people's faith in the measles vaccine in particular is contrary to what you said before this committee. You said you support the measles vaccine, but then you have laid out a set of facts that are contested, and I will submit information for the record from experts who contest what you've said about the vaccine. And the result is to undermine faith in the vaccine. It's kind of like saying, listen, I think you should swim in that lake, but the lake is probably toxic and there's probably a ton of snakes and alligators in that lake, but I think you should swim in it. Nobody's going to swim in that lake if that's what you say. And so I want you to acknowledge that when you say you support the measles vaccine and then go out and repeatedly undermine the vaccine with information that is contested by public health experts, that is not supporting the vaccine. And so I guess I have two simple questions for you. One is, can you clarify what you said in the House this morning? Are you or are you not recommending that families get their children vaccinated, or are you just giving people the pros and cons? And do you understand that when you say these things about the measles vaccine, what ends up happening is less people get the vaccine? That may be what you want, but do you understand that the result of constantly questioning the efficacy or safety of the vaccine results in less people getting the vaccine? So I don't necessarily want to spend the remaining 20 seconds in an argument over the science, but do you at least understand that that's the consequence of what you're saying? And are you actually still recommending people get the vaccine, or are you not?
Senator, if I advised you to swim in a lake that I knew there to be alligators in, wouldn't you want me to tell you there were alligators in it?
So are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
What I've said and what I said in—
Doesn't sound like you are, if that's—
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to keep interrupting?
Are you or are you not?
Are you going to let me answer? What I pledged before this committee during my confirmation is that I would tell the truth, that I would have radical transparency. I'm going to tell the truth about everything we know and we don't know about vaccines.
Are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
I am not going to just tell people everything is safe and effective if I know that there's issues. I need to respect people's intelligence.
I think you're answering the question. I think you're
And
answering
the reason
the question. That's
that people—
really dangerous for the American public and for families.
The reason people have lost faith in this program is because they've been lied to by public officials for year after year after year.
No longer recommending the measles vaccine.
Senator Marshall.
The moment this hearing begins, the temperature spikes. Senator Chris Murphy doesn't warm up, doesn't circle his point, doesn't soften the blow. He looks directly at Secretary RFK Jr. and delivers the kind of accusation that can shatter an entire confirmation legacy. You didn't tell the truth. And instantly, the hearing changes shape. This is no longer oversight. This is confrontation. Murphy isn't asking questions. He's laying charges. And Kennedy isn't sitting quietly. He's pushing back, interrupting, challenging every sentence as it comes out of Murphy's mouth. Because for Murphy, this is about trust, not in theory, but in practice. He's saying that when Kennedy was confirmed, he made specific commitments. He wouldn't block funding for vaccine programs. He wouldn't undermine public health infrastructure. He wouldn't move the goalposts on vaccine standards. But once he took office, Murphy argues, that's exactly what he did. So when Murphy brings up the $12 billion in canceled state grants that fund tracking, distributing, and administering vaccines, it detonates the hearing. To Murphy, this is proof. Kennedy didn't just bend his commitments, he reversed them. And Murphy refuses to let him escape the timeline, repeating the same facts over and over while Kennedy interrupts, demands clarification, and tries to seize control of the narrative. 2 men, 2 missions, 1 microphone. You can feel the tension tightening like a wire between them. Then Murphy broadens his attack. The new vaccine approval standards, the statements on Dr. Phil, the claims about fetal tissue, the comments about waning immunity. To him, each one is a brick in a wall of contradiction. Kennedy saying he supports vaccines inside the Senate chamber while casting doubt on them everywhere else. But here's where the real battle begins. Kennedy doesn't back away. He argues the opposite, that public health officials have lost the people's trust because they hid too much for too long. That radical transparency isn't a risk, it's a requirement. That giving Americans uncomfortable truths is better than wrapping them in comforting assurances. And this is the point where the hearing stops being about vaccines and becomes a fight over philosophy. Murphy's metaphor cuts straight through. You can't tell people the lake is full of snakes and alligators, then tell them to jump in. And Kennedy fires back without blinking. If I know there are alligators in that lake, don't you want me to tell you? This isn't just a difference of opinion, it's a collision of worldviews about how a nation should be told the truth. Murphy wants clarity, Kennedy wants complexity. Murphy wants certainty, Kennedy wants transparency. Murphy wants reassurance for the public, Kennedy wants honesty for the public, even when it stings. And when Murphy corners him with the simplest question possible, are you recommending the measles vaccine or not? Kennedy refuses to give a clean yes or no answer. And in that moment, you can see the frustration, the disbelief, the exasperation on Murphy's face. He believes this refusal is dangerous. Kennedy believes the question itself is incomplete. And that's how the hearing ends, not with resolution, but with a fault line exposed, a government that can't agree on what truth even looks like. So what does this moment really reveal? That America isn't just arguing about vaccines. It's arguing about trust, about whether public officials should give the public certainty or the messy, complicated truth, even when it shakes confidence. And hearings like this don't settle those questions. They amplify them. Now it's your turn. Who do you think walked into this hearing with the stronger argument? Did Murphy expose contradictions? Or did RFK Jr. defend transparency, even at a political cost? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This debate doesn't end in that room. And if you want more breakdowns that cut through the noise, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the next hearing, the next clash, might change the conversation all over again.